be a point in protocol. The board was willing to make the first offer of the day. However, teachers wish the board to go through the mediator. This presents quite a bit of problem because under the current contract, the teachers are earning just $22,500 on the average, making them some of the lowest paid in the metro area. They want that changed. And earlier today, they gathered to voice their opinions.
My eyes have seen the coming of a brand new salary. It will mean a whole new future for the Chaska faculty.
It had the sound of a revival meeting when Chaska teachers met earlier this evening for a pre-strike rally. If there's no settlement before tomorrow's 6 a.m. deadline, all 181 teachers from Local 112 will walk out. The strike will affect 3,150 students enrolled in the district's 5 schools: Chaska High School, Middle School, and Elementary, as well as Chanhassen and East Union Elementary. Despite 8 months of negotiations, the teachers and the board cannot reach an agreement.
The bottom line is money. Money, all the issues that are left to settle evolve around money.
$7,200 over the next 2 years is what teachers have been asking for up until today's session. The board is offering $3,400, and there's no talk of additional benefits.
I don't think that under any circumstances anyone comes out ahead in a strike. Everybody loses. And unfortunately, sometimes the biggest losers are the children.
In particular, Bob's concerned for the gals on his basketball team, who begin tournament play later this week.
What it's going to do is it's going to send them into the region tournament starting next Thursday with a coach that they've never met until tomorrow, if we do go on strike.
It looks as if that strike is imminent. I just want to tell you that the board's offer was going to be $4,200. Earlier today, the teachers agreed that they would accept $59. That still puts them $1,700 apart. So even if they are able to get back together tonight, it looks as if the strike will be tomorrow. Back to you, Kevin and Joan.
Okay, thank you very much, Cindy Cheatham, for that live report. Well, a glimmer of hope tonight in
position. Take a stand.
We feel for those children just like the parent does. And it's terrible that the children has to be caught in the middle, but we feel that we don't have any alternative given the fact that we've been negotiating for 10 months.
The bargainers meeting at a downtown Minneapolis hotel are expected to work through the night. Some parents have petitioned both sides to stay at the table for as long as it takes to postpone any strike action so the district children will not have to miss classes. The school board says it's prepared to hire substitutes to keep some classes operating, but that would take time to organize. And if no agreement is reached overnight, these teachers will be marching in front of empty schools in the morning. Dave Andrews, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
Tomorrow, and in the suburban Chaska, teachers walked off their jobs this morning and formed picket lines in a dispute with the Chaska School Board. The Chaska teachers thus become the first group in the metropolitan area to strike this school year. Debbie Ely reports.
181 teachers are walking the line in Chaska, Chanhassen, and West Union. Their dispute is over money. The district's average teacher makes $22,000 a year. They want a pay and benefit increase of about $5,300 over 2 years. The district has offered $4,200, and negotiators say they cannot go higher.
We've cut almost every program across the board a certain percentage in order for each program to carry their share of the costs of our cutting. There isn't anything left there without doing serious harm either to class size, to program that can be done anymore.
To assure the students some education during what could be a lengthy strike, the district has hired substitute teachers, 150 in all. They start next Monday. School board officials say they owe it to the students. Striking teachers view it differently.
It's just an effort on the board to try to force us to settlement. And what's actually happening with that is that we are becoming more united because they're hiring the subs.
The hiring of the subs has put the district's 3,100 students in a compromising situation. An example, the school's pride and joy is the girls' basketball team. The trophy case boasts its accomplishments. This week they begin district playoffs, but without their striking coach.
Last night when he explained to us, it was a very sad moment for all of us because he's just a super guy and we love him very much. And it's just sad to say that
we'll resolve the dispute and end the strike. Debbie Ely, WCCO Television News, Chaska.
Teachers in Sauk Rapids today approved a tentative
latest offer is $4,200. The school board says that's all it can afford. The teachers disagree.
My response is that we have had an audit done by a private accounting firm in Minneapolis, and their projections indicate that there is sufficient funds available to give us what we are asking for.
I'm sure the board could choose to pay more money. It would mean cutting somebody else or some program or cutting other teachers. What we're trying to do is balance the needs not only of the teachers, but of the children, the programs, and the people who live in this district.
Kincannon points out that the district has been in deep financial trouble for the past several years. She says the district has been forced to make $1 million in budget cuts since the 1979-80 school year. If these teachers are still on the picket line next Monday, school administrators plan to reopen their classes that same morning with substitute teachers. Both sides are scheduled to meet with a state mediator on Thursday. If that bargaining session fails to produce an agreement, the district says it's prepared to bring in 150 substitutes next Monday. Janet Mason, News 11, Chaska.
And another strike continues in the Twin Cities. Today marks the start of week 3 for some 200 striking meat packers on the...
So preparation time for teaching is also an issue. Teachers want that guaranteed in their contract. And meanwhile, orientation began today for nearly 200 substitutes who were bused to schools through security guards today. There were no incidents as the striking faculty members who struck on Monday continued picketing for their 4th day. The strikers were quiet as their replacements left the Chaska schools this afternoon. There are 5 of them. But it was obvious that frustration, anger, and emotions did run high among the teachers. The substitutes are expected to start up classes for kindergarten through 12th grades on Monday if a settlement is not reached by then. So if nothing happens tonight, it is back to picketing for the teachers on Monday and the substitutes. Unless something happens tonight, there is no indication as to how long the meeting will go on tonight, and there could be another meeting before Monday as well. There were no parents that were there tonight. There have been parents that have been very concerned and very involved trying to get this strike settled. And it is the first strike for Chaska. Back to you, Cindy and Dennis.
All right. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie. Well, 2 more Democrats dropped out of the race for the presidency. We'll tell you who in just a moment.
And then...
A dispute over salary and benefits is holding up a settlement on a new contract. Chaska teachers have been out on strike since Monday.
Off talks around 1:30 this afternoon. Feeling there was of frustration and of disappointment.
It's just been a tough negotiation. I think there were very high expectations on the part of the teachers, and we had never been able to adequately communicate to them that it was a very tough issue for school board as well. And so I think because of that, it became a very difficult negotiation and a very difficult mediation.
But teachers did accept the $4,100 wage and benefit increase offered by the board. And they voted not to make up the 5 school days they were out on strike. Teachers say they will accept a new contract if the non-litigation clause is dropped. Now it's up to the mediator when they will meet again. Chaska students who think they'll have a little vacation from school while the teachers are out on strike should guess again. By Monday morning, 190 substitute teachers will be working in the classrooms. Today, they finished their 2nd day of training, and there were some tense moments when they came face-to-face with picketers outside the school. Substitutes paid $115 a day, plus a $13 a day bonus for working through the strike.
By a 7-1 margin to the fact that they are ready for a long strike. Cindy Cheatham reports.
Don't take a side one way or the other. Just say, get going, get this over, get the teachers back in their classrooms.
Today, Chaska teachers met with community members to share their concerns and reactions towards the strike that started Monday.
The bottom line is there's been a lot of concessions, a lot of giving, and it seems like the board is taking, and I'm not riding the fence anymore.
These sentiments were echoed down the hall in the strike settlement headquarters, where teachers showed their support for one another and negotiators following a closed meeting where settlement terms were discussed. Yesterday, spokesman David St. Germain announced there was no settlement. Despite 19 hours of exhaustive negotiations, there was a sense of defeat. Today, the battle has taken on new life. Negotiator Chuck Braley is the new teacher's spokesman. His reputation as an aggressive fighter reflects their new style towards a settlement.
My teachers don't care how long it takes. They want a fair settlement.
There's speculation among union members that they're being used as a model for future metro area strikes, and that the board and its attorney are not really interested in a quick settlement.
Negotiations is like the varsity sport for being on the school board. And the school board feels like it's in the state tournament, and they're there to win. 93% of our teachers voted against the proposal that the board made yesterday. So we're very firm and very strong in the fact that we want a fair and honest settlement.
No new mediation talks have been scheduled, but when they go back to the tables, teachers say they aren't going to accept the $4,200 the board offered yesterday. They want $5,300. It's going to be a
$300. But teachers are now saying if such
teachers found their way to the head of the class today.
It would have looked like any other school day in the Chaska School District, students arriving by bus. But the buses also carried substitute teachers. There were no problems, though, as substitutes passed through the picket lines. Still, emotions ran high.
It feels very unpleasant to see these people going in and taking away essentially our jobs.
It was mixed emotions for Chaska students coming back to their first day of school without their regular teachers. How does it feel to be back to school?
Pretty good.
What do you think about the fact that you won't have your regular teacher but a sub?
Yeah, it's not going to be as good. I don't know.
You think it'll work?
No, not really.
Substitute teachers would not talk about their feelings, but school board officials did.
Near the teachers' strike headquarters, other Chaska students gathered for an alternative to public school education.
We're going to be working on that kind of thing first.
The striking teachers are calling this a tutorial program for preschool through grade 12. 160 students are enrolled, half of them children of the striking teachers.
I don't think it's too hard to learn in. I enjoy it, but I do prefer school as in with the normal teachers.
The other half, children whose parents sympathize with the striking teachers.
Mom didn't feel like sending me to school. She said it might be too rowdy.
Students need teachers who care about them, who know them, and who are going to be in the community. We cannot trust our students, or any student, to fly-by-night strikebreakers.
The substitutes are real teachers, too.
Several hundred Chaska students who left school today paraded from the high school a mile away to a city park. Tomorrow another negotiating session will be held, and at that time it should be known whether the students' walkout is having any impact on the contract dispute.
By coming out here, I hope that we can make this strike a little shorter!
The students who walked out of school had a variety of reasons for doing so.
We're just trying to show our support for the teachers in a peaceful way.
The substitutes don't know what they're doing.
We don't like the security guards in this school. I mean, it's kind of like being treated like prisoners, and we're just out here to show our support for our teachers.
Striking teachers seemed pleased by the students' walkout.
Well, we appreciate their support, but we would encourage them to talk to their parents and the school board members and support us in that way.
And while teachers continued to walk the picket line, many other students stayed in their classrooms. And after the excitement of the walkout passed, those students who stayed in school got back to their books.
In the divisive strike.
Members of the Graphic Artists Union went out on strike
Good evening. Topping tonight's News 11, 3M's move to Texas.
Say goodbye to 300 jobs and a lot of Minnesotans
were affected. I'm really glad it's over. I think it went on way too long. Classrooms weren't the same. They weren't the same at all. The district had hired substitute teachers during the strike. The school board meets tonight and is expected to ratify that contract.
Your contract. The school board is expected to go along with the nearly 200 regular teachers who should be back in their classrooms tomorrow. Adlai Stevenson was there as the teachers made their move.
You have voted to ratify this contract by a vote of 181 yes, 6 no, 97% approval.
Chaska teachers cheered as their contract vote was announced. Today's action means that one of the most bitter school strikes in the state will end exactly 1 month after it began.
We're on top of the world, and we're really looking forward to going back into the school, working with our students and doing the job that we really want to do, and that's teach. Who cares about money when you got your dignity?
There were toasts, and the mood was upbeat, even though the long strike won teachers an average settlement. $4,500 in pay and benefit increases over 2 years. The job action was expensive for both sides. Teachers lost 4 weeks' pay, and the school board was forced to hire substitutes that students said were less than competent.
Well, I don't think they really knew what they were doing. My choir substitute, he was making us jog and stuff like he was Richard Simmons or something.
Many parents angrily took their children out of school. Lynn Borg headed a community effort called the Concerned Parents Group that urged both sides to sit down and resolve their differences.
There was a lot of frustration, and we could see people in the community, you know, neighbor not talking to neighbor.
In a meeting later on this evening, Tomorrow, the 3,500 students in Minnesota's largest school district should begin reacquainting themselves with their old teachers. Adlai Stevenson, News 11, Chaska.
This morning, the school board is expected to ratify it.
Any more ballots?
And when their vote was announced, it showed overwhelming approval for the new pact.
You have voted to ratify this contract by a vote of 181 yes, 6 no, 97% approval.
Teachers union spokesmen say the teachers got what they wanted in the new agreement.
Strike. The teachers ratified the pact this morning, and as Barbara Braun reports, school board members are expected to do the same tonight.
The picket lines were down today, and teachers were apparently optimistic as they met to hear what the settlement included.
You have voted to ratify this contract by a vote of 181 yes, 6 no, 97% approval.
We have achieved most of our major goals. We do have metropolitan average salaries. That is $4,500 per teacher over the 2 years. The costing is primarily the way that we want it. We got dental insurance, which we have never had before and was one of our real top priorities.
The $4,500 two-year increase includes the salaries and benefits. Teachers had asked $4,900. The teachers say parents who marched and rallied to push for settlement made a difference. Jerry Ripplinger was one of those parents.
And what it means, my kids will be back in school with their regular teachers. They've wanted it for 4 weeks. And my quality education from District 112 is going to be back where it belongs. Good feeling.
Substitutes have been teaching classes for the last 3 weeks, and most students went to school. But they say it just wasn't the same, and today they're relieved.
A lot of the kids have fought over issues, you know, they have their own parents' views, of course. But now I think we're pulling back together, and we're laughing and smiling again. So there's hugs and tears this morning, so it's really nice.
Last night, all 7 school board members voted for the tentative agreement, leaving little doubt the board will formally ratify the contract tonight. With photographer Dick Nordling, Barb Brown, WCCO Television News, Chaska.
The school board will meet tonight for its vote on that contract at 6:30 this evening. And
The details of the wage agreement.
New England State to his contact.
300 employees who work for 3 years over the next 2 years. Earlier today, Chaska teachers voted 97% in favor of the new contract, even though it didn't include everything the teachers were hoping for during the contract negotiations.
We're on top of the world, and we're really looking forward to going back into the school, working with our students, and doing the job that we really want to do, and that's teach.
The teachers did get a raise in salary, better dental and health insurance, and longer time to prepare for elementary classes. Substitute teachers are expected to be out tomorrow as Chaska teachers go back to work after being out on strike for 1 month.
Survival. For News 11, the Duluth Bureau.
After a bitter month-long strike, Chaska teachers returned to their classrooms this morning. It was a happy reunion as students and teachers greeted each other after the long absence. But in the next weeks, it won't be easy for students and teachers who have to do a lot of catching up on studies. These seniors are facing college entrance exams in the coming weeks and will have to hit the books hard to make up for lost time away from school.
April 7th, 1984, Chuck and Denise's Chaska strike party. A little touch of what the strike was like here.
That's all we have done. It's not worth it. No, really not. Well, that we were because if I'm paying $30 a month, we go once every 6 months.
That was a pretty good sight, huh? The strike itself. Should work pretty good. What's that? We can work on low light happily. At least I hope so.
Hey, Chuck, you mean to say you're saving Northern?
Oh, geez, Ron.
What is it?
Hey, I don't catch 8-pound salmon on average.
Sure it's a Northern.
Yeah.
I don't believe
That's a pickerel.
A pickerel, right? A hammerhead. Hit that in the head with a hammer.
Does that thing got audio?
Yeah, it does. Oh, isn't that sweet?
I don't know what that fish really looks like.
Oh, looks like Paul Hepman.
It ain't a carp.
It's horrible. I wouldn't clean. I don't even allow them in the boat much like clean them.
You got thirsty today, right? It was kind of dry today.
There's the... Do it, Bob, do it! Do